Hey guys, my name's Over2 Gamer, also known as SimCJ Play, and today we're going to be hosting a tour, a small progress report, or rather progression tour of my Minecraft setup, which I've made for a book assignment that I have to do for school. Yes, quarantine can actually bring up some silver linings, believe it or not. But let's get to it. So, as you can see, this is the wall that I've made, around 250 blocks long and roughly 80 blocks wide. You may wonder why it's so long, and I'll show you after. And I was trying to make the city of Pale during a siege from the book Gardens of the Moon. The problem is, um, it's landlocked, so I guess this could be a lake or something. Or this could be like a small stream that leads to a lake. Yeah, let's just go on with that narrative. But to continue, this is like the village that I'm basing everything around, and I'm trying to first develop the cityscape. So these are all the houses, based on late medieval and early colonial houses, specifically more like Tudor kind of Tudor houses, except instead of the ugly roof that I don't like, I added a brick tile roof to sort of imitate clay, if you know what I mean. All these rooms are lightly furnished with a bed, a chest, and perhaps a furnace. In these houses, other than maybe specialized shops, for example, if you walk all the way to here, you'll find a specialized weapon store, for example. But most of these are just food stalls and other miscellaneous stalls, which I haven't specialized yet. This is the almshouse, or my attempt of the almshouse, until I realize you actually need small houses for it. So I guess it can be an orphanage now. Um, Personally, this took a long time, though I don't like how it turned out. The chimney's the wrong way. I should have actually added houses, maybe a communal courtyard to cover the space. This is just another frame house, and as you can see, the further we go into the desert, the more poor it is. That's the reason, because not because there's a desert in Pale, but more because when it's more sandy, that tends to mean that the dirt is more dead. So, uh, it it's basically becoming more of a slum. So, I'm not willing to make an outer wall, and this is supposed to imitate Creel's Quarter from Pale, which was full of narrow streets, moldy bricks, and it was basically just Detroit. Yes, that's the best way I could describe it. It's the abandoned areas of Detroit, just like my YouTube channel. But yeah, still, this is relatively standing. My plan is it becomes first like it becomes wood, just becomes like completely made out of logs and like one story. Then it becomes even smaller. Then it becomes smaller, and then it just becomes lean-tos at the end. Speaking of which, these are mannequins, and the reason I pick mannequins is just to keep them in place. That's the only reason. But yes, this is what I'm assuming at least are, or what I'm hoping looks like, the Malazan heavy infantry after the skirmishers had pebbled the outside defenses, and the medium infantry had been demolished. Pale's heavy infantry have tried to get through, though it hasn't been very successful, as you can see. Um, and you could see that these people are trying to also pick off these people. I'm gonna try to add like 10 more people here. Um, there is a line of crossbows, pretty cool there. Some of the walls have been blown up. That's because yes, they do have bombs in Gardens of the Moon. The problem is they never mention it. Yeah, they always portray it as more of a medieval fantasy setting, but it seems more like a the very, very end of the late Middle Ages, or like one of the few sieges which used guns in the 1300s. So there's that. As you can see, the archers wear full chainmail. That's more of a stylistic choice for me. And the pale warriors or the pale defenders never really had anything specific to them, so I just gave them some leather pants and some iron and an iron chest plate. That's all. This is the gate. As you can see in front, there are iron bars. Then I have logs. Then when you go back here, there's another sort of iron gate, and there's ropes that are pulled by grindstones. That's supposed to emanate, well, a drawbridge. Though the problem is I haven't created a moat yet, so maybe I'll do that when I have extra time. They do mention that the bridge burners from the Malazan army were attempting to bust down the wall, but it ended up just killing over 1,300 of them. So I guess you could say the mission definitely failed. But in my imagining, the reason why Pale fell was because of these massive breachings. This is my horrible attempt at a siege tower. This is my brother's ramen place. By the way, he goes up to the laziest couch potato, has better content than me. But he spent 30 minutes on this instead of helping me, so that's good. This is my horrible catapult. Like, look how short the arm is. It's barely even a catapult right now. One more thing. There is a city square here, so that's what you might want to look out for. I'm planning to elaborate on it after, but yeah, other than my manor, that's pretty much it. Oh, and by the way, I'm in editing, and I forgot to show everybody that I added an inn and tavern, which is more of a nod to the later entry in the book. But yes, here's the tavern so far. It's boiling something, and there are a bunch of inn rooms up there, which I'll show you right now. Yeah, this is basically just an inn room, nothing much here. But that's all. See ya, guys.